Brilliance Audio presents Burying the Crown by T.P. Fielden. Performed by Joel Frumkin. Windsor Castle, 1942.
Good Lord, Guy! Not someone I'd expect to see up and about at this hour.
Prudence Glynn, one of the younger ladies-in-waiting, slid silently from a side door, her handsome face beaming in the half-light.
I say, you look a bit of a mess. Have you been fighting?
Guy looked down at his mud-stained trousers and filthy hands. "No," he said. No, I fell over."
And over by the looks of it.
They walked toward the round tower, looking up at the dawn as it rose, tinting the ancient castellations which had kept marauders at bay for 1,000 years. Could those battlements, at this lowest point in Britain's wartime fortunes, do the job again? Or would the Germans soon be here, kicking the gates in, not bothering to knock?
Want some coffee? It's not very nice, but it's hot and wet.
"No thanks, Prue. I'll have a bath and smarten up." Half an hour later, he wandered down to the castle keep and waited for the day bus to take him back to Buckingham Palace. Since the start of the war, the anonymous six-wheeler carted everybody from chefs and guardsmen up to nobles and courtiers the 25-mile journey into town, and if the Germans were going to invade, the old rattletrap would make a magnificent target, because there was always someone of importance on board. Finally, the old bus chugged up the hill and ground to a halt outside the gate. Guy took out his palace pass and waved it at the driver, but the man was too busy with his thermos to notice whether he'd let an enemy agent on board. After a lengthy wait, the vehicle grated noisily off on a detour through Eton before heading for the Great West Road and London. Guy looked out of the window at the scenery, but saw nothing. His mind was going back over the events of the night before, and what had led up to them. As he was leaving his office in the Royal Mews, he'd been told by his lady clerk, Aggie, to report to Windsor as soon as he could. "Who says?" he replied with irritation. "I have a dinner planned. Can't it wait till morning?" The stoical Glaswegian looked him up and down. In peacetime, she'd served a succession of old-school types, and she'd found Guy's less formal approach to the job unsettling. In addition, his sudden arrival came garlanded with rumours that he'd disgraced himself in North Africa on a failed spy mission, and was therefore unlikely to last long as a courtier. Not everyone serving the King and Queen and the two young princesses, Elizabeth and Margaret Rose, was necessarily a genius, but they were loyal, solid, and did what they were told. At first glance, Guy didn't appear to be any of those things, but last summer, when he discovered the murder of a fellow courtier, and successfully waded through the deep waters of palace protocol to see justice done with the minimum of publicity, Aggie came to realize that by accident they'd employed a man of unexpected ability.
"Report to the old clackpot. He'll tell you what's needed, but it sounds urgent, so get a move on, Mr. Harford."
Guy bit his lip. There was no point in pleading a candle-lit table in Soho, a red-haired lady companion, and then an evening of dancing at the Trocadero. Every order issued in the name of the king must be obeyed, and instantly. So he clambered aboard a Grenadiers Guards lorry, and an hour later was standing in front of the acting master of the household, Harry Craxton.
"We haven't met,"
said Craxton superfluously.
"but I gather you're to be trusted."
Drafted in recently from the Sandringham estate, the old soldier was happy to be known as Crackshot Craxton, after his skill with a 12-bore, but it took no time for this name to be improved to Crackpot, a handle he equally deserved. "I hope so," replied Guy, fuming at his lost dinner and the man's superior tone.
"What I am about to divulge is a matter so secret, so utterly secret, that you will never mention it again, ever, in your lifetime. Do you understand me?"